Good afternoon, everyone. You are on with Caitlin from Banker Inc. Today, we're going to be talking about how to enter payroll records for our hourly employees in Sage 100 Contractor. So follow with me. I've already opened the sample company, so we're going to go straight into payroll. There's two ways to get to the spot where we're going to enter in our records. We can either hit the payroll tab on the top column and go to payroll records, or we can navigate over on our left-hand side to 522. Both of these are the same location. There's just two different ways to get there. So first, in the sample company, all of the employees are made up, so they don't resemble any company or any employee. So the wages that you'll see here, the jobs, the pay codes, all of that is all made up. So this is not specific to any company. So once I have my payroll records open, the box in the top left, we're going to leave blank. This is the record number, and so this will auto-generate with the next available number in our sequence. So if we've done 10 payroll records prior to this, this one would default to number 11. Again, the fields with an asterisk by it are the ones that are required in order to save the record. So we're going to start with our first employee. In this example, we're going to be using an employee that has an hourly rate. We'll be able to tell this because he'll have either a salary record here or an hourly rate here. So Robert Smith is not a good option for us as he's a salaried person. So let's go down the line. Let's do Pam. Pam is an hourly person because there's no salary box or salary amount in a wage box. And we know that she gets paid $18 an hour for every regular hour. So first, once I start my payroll record, this is going to default to the current date. My sample company is based in 2019, so we're about a year off. And if that is the date of the period start and it's blue highlighted, go ahead and press enter. Otherwise, you can manually key in the period start. Depending on if Pam is paid weekly, her period end should default based off of the period start date for a week later. You'll want to key in your check date that they're getting paid. This is for today's date, but we're going to change this to be something like 7/1/19. Now, Pam has direct deposit enabled on her employee profile, so she'll have this check mark box next to direct deposit. If she still receives a paper check, this would be grayed out and unchecked. So we're going to leave the check 0000. This is so whenever we do the NATRA file over to the bank, we can assign check numbers based on the order that they're sent over in. But this is going to be direct deposited, so that's why it's a quad 0. She's going to be receiving payroll on a regular type, meaning that she's going to get just her base hourly rate. If she does need to get overtime, we'll do that down in the grid, but the base of this will just be a regular payroll type. This is in Q3 on my payroll records. Because it is Q3, that is pulling from the current date of which the check is going to be posted in. So that'll default, the state will default, and then we're going to leave the hourly box empty, or the salary box empty up here. After that, we'll go down to our time card. There's two tabs here, time card and calculations. The calculations will be blank until we trial compute in order to pull her withholdings and deductions. So we'll leave that one alone. The only thing for entering payroll we're going to focus on is our time card. So companies have two different options. They can either do, they can break it out by day. And if we start our period on 6/23, it knows that that is a Sunday, and we can type it in that way. Otherwise, if Pam is not needing to be on a job, we can just group it all together and leave this blank. So if we're needing the job cost, we'll type in the job here of the available jobs you have. So let's say Pam worked on our post office job. There was no equipment that was repaired on this job, so we will leave that field blank. The payroll locale, which is set up on that job record, is California. And if this job was a certified payroll job, a yes would appear in the certified box. This job does not have any phases, and we're going to put in a cost code so we can budget her labor appropriately. So let's just say she was doing excavation. That way, the wages for her labor are going to go to that cost code in the budget. Again, she's going to be getting regular pay for this. She's not assigned to a pay group, and her pay rate defaults to $18 pulled from here. That comes from her employee record. Pam worked 8 hours on this job today, and there is no piece rate and no pieces, and her comp code comes from her default on her employee record. If this isn't the comp code that she needs to be assigned, we can always change that just by hitting the drop-down arrow to see our different workers' compensation codes. If she needs to be put into a department for this, we can put in the department that she's corresponded to. Any absent types, obviously she was on the job, so we don't have absent types that apply, but this would be if we're doing something like vacation or sick time or PTO. You'll do this for each of the records, and once you have her full time card for that period, that payroll period, you can hit save. This pop-up says that there was no budget found for this line item. So when I put in this cost code, it's saying that there was no budget for the cost code of excavation. Do we want to still put it there? So that's going to be a reminder if something hasn't been applied yet or selected for that cost code, if we still want to put labor there. I'm going to say yes, and your payroll record will disappear. It'll prompt you to go to the next employee in the sequence so you can keep plugging along. So this applies only for hourly people. Stay tuned, we're going to talk about how to enter time cards for salary people. I promise you it is a lot easier and a lot simpler. If you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe and like. We're going to be coming out with content every week. But if you guys have any specific questions on how to enter payroll records, the best way to get in contact with me is send me an email at coordinator@bangerinc.com.